Hello, everyone. Welcome to the JD Theory podcast. Today, we'll be going over this Monday night's episode of Raw from front to back. Leave a like if you've been enjoying the show. Leave a comment if you have any thoughts on this episode. And without further ado, let's just jump right into it. We started this episode off with the Vision and Adam Pearce. Of course, Adam Pearce has to announce that Seth Rollins will be stripped of the belt. And he forces Braun to hand it to him, right? And Braun won't do this unless Adam begs, which Adam would comply. He has to get that belt back, right? And Paul Heyman, he cuts a promo to the audience saying the Vision was always Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. Adam Pearce had also announced a battle royale for the number one contendership. Winner goes on to face CM Punk, which we'll get to at the end of the episode. Now, Heyman, he did hype up Breaker and Reed immensely. This was a very exciting open to Raw. I know we start with the Vision quite often, but this was different. I mean, last week we ended on a huge swerve, right? Breaker attacks Seth. It's all up in the air. Who's going to be the next World Heavyweight Champion? Even with tonight's ending, which we'll get to with the number one contender battle royale, I feel like we still don't have a super clear definitive answer of where they're taking this story, but something about this, it was a little interesting. Of course, Braun is not the champion just because he's holding the belt. But it's almost like they tried to direct our attention a little bit, right? There's no erasing last week. That happened. We have to build on that. And it felt like this was a bit of a smoke and mirrors almost thing. Be aware of the threat of Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed, but you might not get them just yet. That's what it felt like, right? But of course, this is going to be a talking point throughout the night. There's another promo that happens backstage later on, and of course, we get to Paul Heyman, Becky Lynch confrontation. This all is building up in some way. It's manifesting. Something's happening interesting here. But the next segment of the show, really exciting. We have AJ Styles and Dragon Lee versus the Judgment Day. The Raw Tag Champs are on the line. Dragon Lee has a new theme song. And I'm sensing they want to push Dragon Lee. We've kind of been toying with the idea. I think, WWE has historically had trouble with how to book luchadors, right? It's very... They don't know how to present their personality properly. But with Penta being as big a success as he has been this year, and with the AAA deal they did recently, I think we're getting a bigger push on luchadors, a bigger focus on luchadors, and why wouldn't, maybe the most talented on the roster. I mean, between Penta, Rey Fenix, and Dragon Lee, it's a big toss-up. I mean, these guys can do it all. Even Angel and Berto, man, what great performers. But yeah, I think we are in for a Dragon Lee push. Now, the new theme song, I'm still mixed on. I haven't listened to it apart from the episode. It kind of reminded me of a Fraxium situation, right? We got the silly rapping going on. If you're going to do rap as your entrance theme, it can't feel commercial or dulled down because rap as a genre is raw, right? So, I don't know. We'll listen to it a few more times. I think there are some good rap intro themes to superstars like Basic Thugonomics. It's fun, man. And there's another one. MVP had a great theme song. Mark Henry had a great theme song. Yeah, you could do a rap intro, but it can't be this cheesy, corny, commercial, fake rap. It feels disingenuous, and for Dragon Lee, I think that's a unique choice, right? But let's talk about the match a little bit because McDonough he has some great spots in this match. Two spots in particular, which I don't think I've ever seen before. Right? McDonough had a fun spot on Dragon Lee from the ropes on the outside, and he kind of sweeps his legs with his legs. It was very unique. And there's another one. I forget exactly how it went down. I forgot to write it down, but I think AJ Styles was running at the ropes, and he just pulls the rope down, and AJ goes flying through him. I thought it was very unique. You know, I gained a lot of respect for JD McDonough in this match because he's somebody we don't get to see often, and usually when he is in the ring, he's just getting his ass beat, waiting for that hot tag to Finn Balor, right? And Judgment Day, they look strong in the first half of this match, which is good. You want them to look strong. They're coming in as the champions. Now, they didn't leave as champions, but they were just the champions for over 100 days, mind you. Now, Wade Barrett, hilarious on commentary this entire match. I just had to throw that out there, man. Wade Barrett has been my favorite commentator all year in WWE. He just gets it. He gets it, right? And something also of note here, Dragon Lee, he was getting crowd reaction. People are excited to see Dragon Lee do good. He's over. You paired him with AJ Styles. That'll get anybody over. And it really feels like a push is imminent. And all four of these guys, they had wonderful chemistry with each other the entire match. And AJ, he has the match nearly won with a phenomenal forearm on Finn Balor. JD broke the pin by like 0.001 second. It was nuts. And almost, Finn would land the coup de grace. You never see Finn Balor land the coup de grace anymore. And I like that. It's a very protected finisher. We don't waste it. And if you're not going to have Finn Balor win, don't even put it in the match, right? But he got the coup de grace on AJ Styles, and Dragon Lee came in with a sick pin break, a flying headbutt to break the pin also just last second. The drama, the in-ring drama, you could feel it in this match. If you love WWE product at its best, the way they put together matches, this was a phenomenal match. It really was. And the sequence from that headbutt all the way to the end of the match, perfect. Perfect. AJ would land the Styles Clash to get the 1-2-3. We have new tag team championships. New tag team champions, excuse me. Same belt. But yeah, AJ Styles and Dragon Lee are now your tag team champions over on Raw, and this is good. You got a major star. AJ's going into his last year in just 2 months from now. So yeah, get him hot. Let him elevate some young talent. I think it's good you're giving Dragon Lee the AJ Styles rub. Maybe their tag team could be called AJ Lee, right? That'd be a great tag team name. So what did this match accomplish? It accomplished a lot of things. One, we got the Judgment Day losing belts. Now both the men and the women in the Judgment Day have no tag team champions. Dom is the only champion of the Judgment Day now. I think Finn losing that championship may inspire him to look at Dom, to look at the potential of a turn, whether it be the Intercontinental or the AAA belt, because there's a lot going on with the Intercontinental too, which we will get to. But yeah, I think this match is a good bridge between where we're going, how we got here, even if how we got here was not good. Judgment Day had a horrible title reign. They defended the belt twice. Twice in 100 days. Ridiculous. But yeah, I'm excited to see where this goes. Then we would cut to Usos backstage. Jay admits he was wilding a little bit. All right, he was getting a little tribal chief-esque, and we learn going into this match, which they will be in the Battle Royale later tonight, they agreed they will be out there looking out for their own best interest, but they are good. And that's what you want to take away from this segment. The brothers are good. So, we're setting up expectations for later tonight. We know how it goes, retrospectively. Of course, Jay would still be taking some tribal chiefisms with him in the match. Excuse me. Now, Dominic Mysterio versus Rusev. And this was fun. I'm loving the Dom defenses. Dom comes out at Rusev immediately. He dives and then throws him into the steel chairs. I thought this was very ambitious for Dominic Mysterio. But the second the bell rings, Rusev takes control. And people, anytime Dominic Mysterio gets offense, the people love it. The crowd loves Dom. And Rusev, he has some of the meanest looking suplex in the game right now. I mean, this man, he is a wonderful performer, but Dom has the crowd in his hands. Now, after Rusev is dominating this match primarily, he goes for the accolade. He said it is over. He gets a big strike and kick in and then goes for the accolade. Dom is able to weasel out of it. And Dom goes to pick up his belt. And we have Penta to stop Dom from escaping. But Rusev would end up attacking Penta. Now this time Rusev, he discovers the hammer, which Dom used to cheese Rusev out of his previous opportunity at the belt. So he catches Dom with the hammer. He catches Dom in a 619. It was a great spot. Takes the hammer from Dom. The referee's looking at Rusev. Don't use this, you will be disqualified. And Dom kicks him in the nuts again. 619 to a splash. It's 1, 2, 3. These finishes, they've been hilarious, right? And then after the match, Penta comes in just to kick Rusev's ass again. After he just lost the match. I don't know if this is lowering Rusev's stock by having him lose 2 title opportunities in a row, be it under nefarious means. I mean, the dude was kicked in the nuts and hit with a hammer. But I think initially Rusev seemed like the right move to give the belt to, and I thought the second time around he would absolutely win. But the second I saw Penta out there, I kind of figured this is not the time. And I think what we're going to do... Well, here's the question. What did this match accomplish? I think it accomplished a setup for a 3-way match, championship match, mind you. I think it's going to be at Survivor Series. I don't know if it will be at Saturday night's main event, because with Dominic Mysterio, we have been taking our time, right? Think about the AJ Styles build-up. They didn't just throw that in on the next PLE. They waited a whole PLE cycle for that match to come out. And then we get a sequel. And it was great all around. I mean, did it make AJ look a little weak, for lack of a better term? Maybe it did at the time, but AJ looks great now holding the belt. So it didn't mess him up. We got a classic out of AJ and John Cena. I think AJ Styles, his stock is hot right now. Same for Dominic Mysterio. I think they both benefited from that rivalry. And of course, next we would get to Maxine Dupree versus Becky Lynch for the women's IC belt. Now, the title is on the line because Maxine won last week due to a count out, and I was very excited going into this match. Since their last encounter, it was unique. You don't really see count out victories very often at all. And Maxine had a big moment. It's very rare you see a superstar just like pop up out of the blue. I mean, Maxine Dupree barely gets television time to begin with. So it's a huge vote of confidence from the company with her. And she took advantage of that moment, and now here we are. Off the rip in this match, Becky is extra aggressive. Off rip. And Maxine Dupree, I do think she still comes off a little underexperienced in the ring, a little clunky, but she is still so entertaining. I mean, she is somebody you naturally just want to root for. She has a cool step-up leg drop, too. That was a really unique move. And I honestly, for majority of this match, I was a bit shocked at the lack of offense Becky was getting in through this match. Becky Lynch, she is the champion. We saw her put on a classic with Lyra Valkyria. Let's not oversell Maxine Dupree. She's great. But the champion needs to look strong still, because what would end up happening is Becky would strike Maxine with the title and beat her up after the match. Now, of course, she is still champion because it ended in a disqualification. And I'm interested because they have Becky lose twice on record. But I don't know where this is going to end up. Because look at it this way. We had Chelsea Green lose to Zelina Vega twice, and then Zelina Vega would become the champion. Are we going to put Maxine Dupree as the next champion? Is that what's going to end up happening? Do they have that much confidence in Maxine Dupree? I don't know. So what did this match accomplish? It accomplished some confusion, but not in a negative way overtly. I'm interested. I don't know where it's going because there's a lot of ways it could go. So yeah, I think it's doing what it's meant to do right now. Then we would have Kabuki Warriors cut a promo. They claim Rhea tore apart their family, claims they're going to be ruthless, and they need a new challenge. Despite the fact that they lost. If you wanted the Kabuki Warriors to really seem threatening, maybe, I don't know. They lost the match. They beat up Rhea after. I get it. They looked strong at the end, but they didn't win. And they want a title shot. They're indirectly calling out Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. They say they want gold. Now, this accomplishes a move past. We're moving on from Rhea and Io. Maybe. We should be moving past Rhea and Io. Yeah, do Kabuki Warriors versus Charlotte and Alexa. Let's get that women's title on television more. I know it's been in the NXT, and I'll be honest, I can't always catch SmackDown. I tried to every week. Last week I couldn't catch it. I don't know how often Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair are being featured on television right now, but I know the belt could feel more important. I know that for a fact. And we unified the women's belts. Did we ever have two women's belts? I can't even remember. Unify the men's tag team belt, for Christ's sake. But yeah, we're setting up a new feud. All right, next we would have Stephanie Vaquer versus Roxanne Perez. Now, based on the way we saw Roxanne call out Stephanie, I didn't expect to see her fighting Stephanie this week. Hold on, I'm going to move my mic back. Hope that wasn't too disruptive of audio, but they made it sound like it'd be weeks away. She said, I'm going to take my chance on my time. And of course, I criticized that delivery last episode because I'm like, if she accepted the challenge, take the challenge. Which is what she did. So that's good. But the promo leading up to it was weird. We also get a mid-entrance backstage segment with Adam Pearce telling Paul Heyman he removed the Vision from the Battle Royale. Pearce makes Heyman say, please, just like Braun Breaker made him say earlier that night, and he still denies his request. No Vision in the match. Now, Paul, he bumps into Becky Lynch too. First time they're seeing each other since Paul betrayed her husband last week. And Paul Heyman, he says, I can be your adorable oracle. I am laughing hysterically when he says that. Paul. Come on, man. Now Becky, she's saying Seth was expecting him to be betrayed. And when he comes back, he will destroy those Heyman have aligned with. After that, we finally get to the match at hand. And Vaquer, all her matches, they start off with these technical face-offs. Now this one, it wasn't overly slow. The pace was nice. And I think against Tiffany and against Io Sky in the last two pay-per-views, I think they stretched it out too much. Because both of those matches, they weren't exactly long, which is okay. I like a short and sweet match. But you shouldn't be having a grappling face-off if that ends up being half the match. But this, it was done right. I think that they broke out of that quickly and started getting into some action, which after that point, when things started picking up, my Netflix had a full-on crash during this match. All I saw when I got back was Nikki Bella and Valkyrie standing in the ring with the Judgment Day on the outside. So truthfully, I cannot speak too much to this match beyond the first couple of minutes. That's on me. I'm sorry. And I would have gone back and watched it, but I feel like I understand the narrative where we're pointing towards, and I'm sure it was a great match in ring. I just, I've been busy, all right? And I just got home from work, decided, okay, I'm going to talk about the episode regardless, but yeah, I've been loving Vaquer's work. I'm glad to see her fighting all different types of people. Having her go against the Judgment Day is pretty interesting. You know, we kind of saw Vaquer leapfrog over Roxanne Perez. I could be stealing that quote from Joe Tessitore for all I know. So yeah, what did this match accomplish? We're setting up Judgment Day versus Bella and Vaquer. That's where we're going. Now backstage, we have Bayley. She tells Lyra she has a surprise. I suppose we'll find out next week what that surprise is. Then we have Braun asking Heyman to help since they've lost their opportunity. Like, come on, man. You gotta pull some strings or something. And Heyman, he explains his history of helping superstars who he's elevated to the very top of the business by taking his advice. So it looks like the advice Heyman is giving is to hit the brakes a little bit. It looks like we're going to transition into a slower build for Braun and Bronson Reed, which I think is a little unfortunate. The time to strike is now. Strike while the iron is hot. And yeah, we wouldn't even see Braun Breaker come out at the end of the match, you know, at the end of the contender match. I thought it was odd. That we did this huge pivot. I understand we had to write Seth off TV, but use the moment to capitalize. I think that's what we're missing out on, a capitalization on last week. That's what's missing from this episode of Raw. Instead, we kind of just gave an explanation for why we're not pulling the trigger. And I hope they could still take it back. They haven't said anything set in stone. But I need Braun Breaker to somehow get involved in the championship picture. All right? That's what's necessary right now. We can't have this huge statement putting down Seth Rollins, elevating Braun Breaker just to put the brakes on it. That's not good storytelling. But I'm not going to judge because God only knows where is this going to go. Need to take a sip of my water. 1 second. Okay. Let's keep it pushing. All right. Now, we'd also have Vecchia. She kind of thanks Nikki Bella, but also like, I could handle myself. But Bella gives her praise. They have each other's back. It's just, continuing on the fact. They kind of painted the picture in ring. I don't know why they need to be friends. Nikki Bella is just everybody's friend, I guess. But that is fine. That is fine. What did these segments accomplish? Bayley's, I'm not sure yet. Still not in love with this new character. Braun Breakers, I feel like they swept something under the rug here. Vecchia and Bella, exactly what they told us in ring. I feel like we probably could have had this time slot. Get somebody else. Get the New Day in or something. But, this backstage battle, the next match would be the Battle Royale. Now, the Battle Royale. Number 1 contendership to face CM Punk for the title on the line. Punk, he comes out after everybody. He says to LA Knight, I hope it's you. And we get Punk on commentary. Awesome. Now, a few things about this match. Let's get into it. I didn't know I needed to see Otis and Ivar toss it up, but now I know I do. Otis would be the first eliminated, but that first big spot in the match, it was great, man. It was great. Now, I'm not going to name every elimination, since that would be insane, but we'll get to the important ones later on. Now, Punk has this hilarious line on commentary. You know why they call him Dirty Dom? Because he doesn't wash his gear. Ugh. Punk throwing in subs. And honestly, I don't even... I don't keep too many tabs on social media. Truthfully, I don't have any social media. Unless you count YouTube, which I see it more as like a content creation platform. But I see the clips on YouTube Shorts of whenever CM Punk or Dominic Mysterio, they're in an interview talking about each other. They're always throwing these jabs, and it's like kayfabe jabs. It's really fun. So I like their little rivalry, right? Now, we get to another spot where Rusev and Penta, they're tossing it up outside the ropes. Dom would eliminate both of them. The tension between those three is building for sure. Ivar got a lot of big spots. Almost makes me wonder, is there a push on the way for Ivar? Was Eric even in this match? Are the War Raiders going to split? Because that didn't work. Let's just be honest. They mishandled the War Raiders, much like they mishandled the Authors of Pain or the Ascension. For my 2010s people, tell me if you remember how they handled those tag teams. Horrible. You're supposed to be treating tag teams like this like Hawk and Animal, like the Legion of Doom. But instead, we just don't know how to book them. Let them cut promos, man. And not ones with Bert Kreischer or just yelling. Let them talk. Let them talk their shit. Let them get going. Because that's what we need. We need more promos for people who are not getting time in the ring. So this way, when you need to throw somebody into the match, we know what they're about. We know who they are. You know? But yeah, Ivar getting a couple big spots in here was exciting. The way he moves for a guy his size is incredible. We even get El Grande loading the mask with steel. Of course, El Grande would eventually be eliminated. You know, we got some Irish on Irish crime with Sheamus hitting Balor with the 10 beats. Then again on JD until Kofi would come up behind them, eliminate both of them. And then we get AJ, he eliminates Dom, but Dom comes back in the ring since the ref missed him flying out. Kind of reminded me of like Shawn Michaels at the Royal Rumble, right? Now, the final four left: Dominic Mysterio, the Uso brothers, and LA Knight. Knight and Big Jim, they get tied up fighting on the outside, and Jey Uso would eliminate both of them. Wow. And keep in mind, I haven't mentioned it up to this point, but Big Jim would save Jey Uso about twice in this match. In Jimmy's mind, he's probably like, all right, we're going to be the last two, and then we'll settle it. Jey took his opportunity and ran with it. And it would get him all the way because Dom thinks he's got Jey in the 619. Jey just flips him over his shoulder, sends him flying. And, you know, Jey would win the Battle Royale. Now, even though they said they were good and fighting to get their own, Jey still did Jim dirty. That is the takeaway from this match. He did not stay true to his word backstage. Now we have Jey Uso and CM Punk to face each other for the World Heavyweight Championship at this Saturday night's main event. I have a lot of thoughts. Do we have Braun Breaker come in and interrupt this match and a new champion isn't crowned? Imagine that, a vacated championship gets delayed, nobody's holding the belt. That'd be nuts. Or maybe he just attacks one of them. It could be either one. I mean, Braun Breaker has beef with both of these guys extensively. But yeah, a lot of interesting things. I have some post-episode notes. I mean, I wrote, did we just put a pause on Breaker? Or is this subversive? Because we can't go back on what happened. And if we are in creative peril. Okay? Use Breaker. Now, I am glad to see Raw moving along with nice plots. The plots are moving nicely. Still don't know exactly where things are going, but I'm sure as hell curious. So yes, Raw, it is in a healthy state right now. A very healthy state. We're kind of getting out of that post-SummerSlam slump, which usually wouldn't really happen till the road to WrestleMania. But I think just how great Crown Jewel was, I think we're seeing a spark in creative. Even if it's a small spark, I don't know how long it's going to last. Usually you expect it to pick back up again at the Royal Rumble. Maybe we keep this going till Survivor Series, and then we get the road to the Royal Rumble, and it's just good from here on out. That's what I want to believe, because I am an optimist. I love the product, and I want to see the product succeed. So yeah, I think it's also cool Saturday night's main event will have real stakes involved. You know, it's been weird Saturday night's main event, because they started off having no implications of what will happen plot-wise. Then we saw the Seth Rollins LA Knight thing. Now we have a title match on Saturday night's main event. I think that makes it a bigger deal. I think it's good. Also, on another note, oh yeah, I'll likely do a grading video for Saturday night's main event too. We have Ilya Dragunov on SmackDown. He answers the U.S. Challenge. First time we're seeing him on TV this year. Pins Sami Zayn on his return. And he is our new WWE United States Champion. Congratulations, Ilya Dragunov. We missed you. We love you as a talent. And it's all up from here. Now let's hope his leg is all the way good. Because Ilya knows how to put on a match. That's exciting. I also watched AEW's Wrestle Dream. Not the full thing. I didn't get fully through it. These pay-per-views are long, man. And I don't know if AEW is for me. I enjoyed All In a lot earlier this year. I watched all of that. I probably watched like the first half of Wrestle Dream. And I will say it did have some amazing moments. Now, I didn't love that the pay-per-view started mid-pre-match card. It felt a little off the rails. Like, if this even happened on a TV episode, it would feel a bit much. But a pay-per-view, for Christ's sakes, let's tighten it up a little bit. Now that one match in particular, amazing. The Jurassic Express versus the Young Bucks was extremely fun. Luchasaurus is so good. What an over face, truly. And the Bucks, they always bring quality. At All In, their match against, Will Ospreay and Swerve Strickland, that was an amazing match. But this, I feel like, even more connected to. Because I do remember the Jurassic Express from when AEW first came around, and I was dipping my toes in it a little bit. It's cool to see them together, you know? And I'll say, I used to not be a fan of the Young Bucks, but their angle of being broke, it's been very funny to me, and it works. And in ring, they're always wonderful, but right now their character works for me. And I also saw online Sting would return later in the show. And, you know, you got to respect how much Sting has given to wrestling. This man is he doesn't need to be showing up at his ripe age, right? But, man, we've already sent him on the retirement in WWE. We did the retirement in AEW already, and he's coming back. He's got the big beard now, the white hair. It's nuts. It's nuts. But Sting is still immensely talented, man. How long could he go? Is he going to be Ric Flair? Now, I will say, I don't know if AEW's rapid, chaotic, no-selling, all-action style will ever be my main cup of tea, but I think I'll keep my eye on it more frequently than I have. I'll give the product more chances. Because sometimes it feels like the show never ends. It feels like the pacing is all over the place. It feels like nobody's moves like literally cause pain to the opponent because it's non-stop. They don't take time to sell. If you want to convince me, you know, you're hurting your opponent, you need to sell. That's half the art. But yeah, beyond the non-selling, it's an exciting spectacle. And that's what AEW looks to be, a spectacle. So yeah, I'll be more mindful of AEW moving forward. Maybe I'll cover some pay-per-views on the channel in the future. God only knows. But yeah, this week's episode of Raw, that's what I got to say about the state of wrestling right now. That's what's going on. Congratulations, Ilya Dragunov. Congratulations, AJ Styles and Dragon Lee. New champions in WWE. It's an exciting time. 2 number 1 contenders for the World Heavyweight Championship belt. If you didn't see my video from, I believe it dropped 3 days ago from when this will come out, I made a video called Who Will Be the Next World Heavyweight Championship. If you haven't watched that, check it out. I give my takes on the main superstars who could get that title, and I make a case for why they should, all of them, and I tell you my pick. So, check that out if you haven't seen it yet. Thank you for all the support recently. The shorts have been going crazy. That video I just directed you to, it's been the best performing video on my channel so far. So thank you all for tuning in. It means a lot. I do this as a passion project because I love wrestling. I love music. I love a lot of things. And I try to keep a variety of content. Of course, music and wrestling are the 2 main topics. But yeah, man, anything you want my take on, let me know in the comment section. These episodes always go to Spotify as well. If you want to add the JD Theory podcast on Spotify, if that's an easier way of consuming long-form audio content, you can find me there as well. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you on the NWA Power episode. Bye-bye.